What's going on?
Hello,
Y'all gonna be
darling.
surprised tonight.
What'd you say?
Y'all gonna be surprised tonight. Don't be doing that. I know what that is.
Can I get
My
my lip
mom,
gloss?
when I was little, she would put on lipstick and always do that.
Yeah,
Can I
yeah.
get my lip gloss right?
I think everybody, I see everybody. Yeah, everybody's here. Too.
I see them. I see them.
Hey.
Hi, Titi.
Good evening, lovely people.
Hi.
And I have y'all know I got on Zoom all by myself.
You did without your staff.
Only thing my staff had to do was make me a tower so I could sit in my chair.
All right.
Ain't no staff. That's just the people I feed. Mimi, last minute touches.
Oh, maybe my camera. If I turn that
Hey,
up, that
guys.
would help.
Hey.
There you go. Now, do I need to be taking notes? Do I need to know everyone's name or are you going to bring the name in, and how are we going to do that?
Yeah, and then it should be underneath them too. I'm gonna
Got you.
type their name.
So I don't need to take any notes. Just go by the screen.
No, you're good. So if I understand correctly, Brittany is the life insurance professional,
Yes.
right? And Sherry is the real estate professional. And oh my God, I forgot his name just that quickly.
Jason Boss.
Jason. That's what I thought, Jason.
Yes.
Oh, that sun is glaring.
Oh yeah, I wish it was some sun. It's rainy and dark. Mhm.
Right.
I had some sun today, but it's gone
You
down.
did.
No, I don't think we had none today. No, that
it's
was
raining.
just today.
It rained all day.
Okay, I'm gonna start getting us going.
Okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
Okay, quiet.
No, yeah, right.
Who's closing out?
You guys ready? Good evening, my beautiful cousins.
Hey, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
How are you guys?
Doing good.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Good.
How are
We're
you,
gonna
gorgeous
have-
women?
Exactly. Wonderful. Wonderful. We are going to have a lovely conversation this evening, hosted by our very own queen, our oldest cousin, Anna Maria.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, our wonderful, beautiful viewers. And good evening to the lovely cast.
Good evening.
Hi.
May I introduce?
Sure.
I would like to introduce to the world, we have delicious Decovia.
Delicious.
Hey,
We
y'all.
have the magnificent Miki. We have the tantalizing T.
Hello.
We have the tenacious Tamara.
Hi.
And we have the most marvelous Mimi.
Hi,
Ooh.
everyone.
And then there's me, the goddess. Good evening, all. Good evening.
Hi, goddess.
Good
Oh my
evening.
gosh.
So, what's new? Anything new?
No. My
Okay.
baby started her first pageant rehearsal today. It
Oh,
was
wow. Nice.
I didn't think I was gonna be that mom with her, like pageants, like probably ballet. I would have tried other things, but I was a little skeptical of pageants, but it was really cute. And she did so good for her first day at only
Wow.
7 months. Yes.
Oh my
I'm looking
God.
forward to that.
She loves the mirrors. You know, the
Yeah.
big mirrors, she
They
loves
have
them.
they have
Mhm.
pageants for babies.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Gotta hold them a certain way.
Yeah,
And
I gotta
Oh,
work
yeah.
out. I definitely gotta work out because I have to,
What?
you know,
hold
show
all
her
that thickness up.
and
The
walk with
thickness.
her a certain way. It was nice though.
Mm-hmm.
Nice
Tell
experience.
Sophia about the thing she gotta wear. What is it? The
The two-
90s. What is
Yeah, it's her two themes are 90s and then she has a formal outfit.
Get out of here.
What?
Get out of here.
Yeah. They
All right.
pageants are really big down here. They have a lot of stores.
Mhm.
really?
Mm-hmm.
I've been
I
looking up
wasn't about that life. Sorry.
yeah, she won't be in those, but
Wow. 90s theme. That is something else.
yes, I can't wait. I have so many ideas, but we're gonna see. It
You
definitely
should get with cousin Decovia. She got you because she has the best earrings too. So
I know.
Oh, she
I know.
does.
Right. And I get to dress up with her, so yes, I will.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
that's fun.
Cool.
That is really fun.
Today I felt like, for the first time, I felt like a Californian. So most of the time since we've been here, we were here just a few months and then COVID hit and then, California shut down. But today we got up, we went to a farmer's market, like right up the street, and just got our fresh eggs and our fruit and our vegetables. And we just talked to other people in the community, had our coffee. It was so nice. I'm like, I feel like I'm from California now.
That's cool.
that is really
Sounds
nice.
really nice.
It was a lot of fun.
I know. I can't wait to come out there for real.
Me either.
Did you make the eggs already?
No, I can't wait. I was like, what can I make? What can I make? So they're brown eggs too.
I love those.
So that was so neat for me. And so I learned today that anybody at the farmer's market, they can't sell anything unless it's something that they have grown or produced themselves.
Wow.
So that was neat. It is
So now is the farmer's market big like the public market there?
Not the one that's just up the street. So we live in a smaller city outside of LA. So we live in Santa Clarita. So the local college that's just not even 2 minutes away, every Sunday they have a farmer's market out there. It is
Nice.
so awesome. So they have the
And
farmer's
I
market
hate to ask, but
in
what was the
one
weather like
parking
today?
lot. And then in the next parking lot, they were filming something. I mean, the crew, it was a ton of people. I'm like, what are they filming over there? So
Yeah, I need to hurry
I
up
was
and
a
come out
Californian,
there.
and then I was a tourist. I'm like, what's going on?
That
I
is
can't wait
wild.
till we start
I
having
saw
our little
you.
market.
Say that again.
I said I can't wait till the weather gets, picks up here so we can have our little markets like that too. I love going to those.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Decovia, I saw you in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
We've been up there a few times in the past couple years. And then so my 15-year-old, a couple months ago, he said he wanted to go. So I'm like, all right, we can go again. And so we went, and yeah, we
Now,
love.
have there been any bear sightings?
I I ain't seen none,
Okay.
but I'm sure there has. You know what I mean? It's
I got a problem with the woods and stuff.
Well, as long as you just watch out and stay inside for the most part, and just just
See, now
watch
I
out.
like what you said. Stay inside. Are you listening, Cousin T? Stay
I don't
inside.
have a problem with staying inside, but
For
she's
the
still
most part, you could get out some. I mean, they got the fire pit. You want to get out a little bit,
But that video you posted, that video with the water, like the sound, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
Like I use rain to go to sleep at night.
Mhm.
Like
Do
rain
you?
sound, rain and thunder. I would just sit out there and listen to that.
Oh yeah. That's why I have to get one. I try to get one by the river because it's so nice. I eat breakfast with the river. It's just
Oh,
Well, while you eating with the river, the bugs come out.
it was a screened in porch, but thanks.
Dakota, by the way, we also did see a picture of you and your boob that you posted too.
I thought that was adorable with you up in the corner and him right
Very
there. I
cute.
said, oh.
That's
Was
no,
that
that's,
Boo?
no,
That
that's
was
not,
Boo?
no.
Oh, okay.
No.
That
Okay.
smile was priceless,
My
so I don't
mistake.
know.
No, that's not my boo. I mean, I love him. I've been knowing him for a long time. He's a rapper. And so, back when I was doing artist management stuff, I was managing him. But yeah, no, that's just, I love him. No.
Oh, I thought that was your boo.
Oh, no. I'm not
But
posting up.
she got rumors starting on Facebook.
You know what I'm
Started right on Facebook.
Well, she said I hadn't smiled, so on and so forth. And usually people say that when it's their boo.
Well,
And that
hey,
smile was like, hi.
there's
It
more
was
than,
a big one.
more than one person can make me smile. So
Oh, yes, it was the way you smiled.
please, no. But no,
It's the truth.
I wouldn't put, and I don't put my business like that on
I know
social
you don't,
media
but
anyway. So no.
Got you.
Shout out to King Dub though.
King Dub.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, King Dub.
Y'all are-
Meek, I saw like James and that huge party he had. That people are raving about First Player.
Yes, and I wore my shirt on purpose
I
Yeah.
see it.
for the topic. But yes, First Player video game truck has been doing very well for
It
his
looks
start.
like
It's only
it. Kudos.
yesterday,
Kudos.
yesterday was only a week, but we're booking. We are filling up. So he's doing good. He's doing really good.
And so what do you do? People just book you when you go to them?
Yep. You book and we bring the party to you wherever. Just give us an address and space, and we're there.
Oh,
Yeah, I was getting ready to say
awesome.
about space because that big old thing, and in his truck, so he has to pull it in and
Get
be
the truck and a
adequate.
trailer, so he'll need about 40 feet of space. But long as he has that, we're there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Video game trucks are huge. And I just want to tell you this because when we were in Rochester, we got a chance to kind of go to the soft opening.
Yeah.
They don't just have games for kids, they have
Yep.
like these old school games too, like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and Space Invaders. It was so
Centipede,
much fun.
Miss Pac-Man.
Yes.
Yep.
It was
Our
so
old
much
school
fun.
Nintendo and Sega.
And so my brother was like, oh, okay, this is cool, but I'm gonna go stand over here and chat. And then he slid and saw a game. He's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, I'm gonna sit here for a minute.
Yeah. And that's what we do. We have the parents come on, they let the kids come, but then when they come on and look, they be like, oh, nice. Okay, what's this? And then they look over and see the old school section and they go right to it.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. We're all kids at heart. So yeah,
First Player video game truck. Yeah.
Yeah.
beautiful.
All right. So what we drinking on though?
Oh,
Good.
I'm about to shock y'all. Y'all ready?
What?
Tonight, the goddess will have a complete, well, not complete, but close to it. She going with the H002.
Oh,
That is a shot.
okay.
That's
Oh,
more than a shot.
the H with a double shot of O.
O and the 2 at the bottom.
The two. Well, mine look like water,
Oh Lord.
We know
but
it's
it
not.
ain't. Just a little sparkling.
Oh, I
The
love
verde.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
Nice
that.
and light. I
Yes.
had that before.
I love that. It's like, champagne on a budget or whatever. Like it's so
Very
good.
good.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the raspberry kind of that.
Yes.
Yes, I
Yeah,
had
they
that
got
one
like 3
too.
different
That's very good.
flavors. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know they have flavors.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I am, Anna, you and I are drinking the same. Each
Okay.
with a shot of
Salute.
2 shots of Salud.
Yes,
Yeah.
salute.
Well,
I'm glad we're all keeping it light. I just got a little bit of peach schnapps and pineapple juice with some fruit. So we all keeping
Nice.
it light.
That's light for you, baby.
A
Well, I'm
fuzzy
getting- I'm-
navel. That's a fuzzy navel. That was my
Oh,
first
is it?
drink
Oh,
ever.
look, I didn't even know.
Yes, my first drink ever.
well, I'm gonna
Mine's
get
just
tipsy
sex
for
on the
y'all
beach,
then.
but-
Hey guys, hey Crystal. We see Crystal. Crystal is
Yeah.
definitely one of
Hello,
our
VIP Crystal.
VIPs. Yes. Hey Shelby, how's it going?
Hello,
Hey, Shelby.
Shelby.
Yes.
And we got Miss Eva on tonight.
Hey,
Hi.
Eva.
Hi, Miss Eva.
Hi, Miss Eva.
Yes, and we have 2 guests waiting, and Anna will definitely do the intros.
First, before we do that, did we get Mimi's drink?
And
No.
Miki.
No,
You didn't. I say Miki didn't tell her either.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
we need that.
Can you
I-
guys see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
it's
is going to
green.
be a shocker. This is going to be a shocker.
Mine was the shocker.
Nope, because I'm always on the rerun, right? So I have my version of rum punch. I got some Malibu rum, got some orange juice and cranberry juice. And
And
it
that
does
was
taste
gonna be my go-to tonight, but I said, let me
It
go
tastes-
light. Let me shock them.
that looks good.
It
Mhm.
does.
It
It
look refreshing.
tastes like the rum punch I had in Turks and Caicos.
Well, I'm gonna have to go to Turks and Caicos to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need a cousin's trip to Turks and Caicos so we can see.
Let's
Mhm.
So
go.
we can see.
I'm all for that.
So we can see.
Mimi, what you got? A green monster? What you got?
This is money bags.
Money
This is
bags.
called
I
money
like.
bags.
What's in it?
It was different. It was like different layers, but I guess it sat a little too long, and now it's all one color. But that's money bags.
What's in it?
What's in money bags?
Well, this is a virgin, so there's no hard liquor or anything in there. So
Oh, okay.
it just has.
Boo.
I had a long day, so this is a virgin one. So, but it has you can add vodka, gin, whatever you want to put in there if you want.
Absolutely. Right.
But this is just the grenadine, the colored grenadine. So instead of the red one, it's the blue one, and then I lighten it up with I like pineapple juice, so I lighten it up with pineapple juice.
You know what? A Malibu rum would be delicious in that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be delicious.
Yeah. And it's still light. That's not too heavy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it's hard getting up to go work with kindergartners, getting lit with y'all on Sunday night.
You don't get lit.
15 of them. Mhm.
Oh my
So
goodness.
since we did that, would anybody would like to ask the host, what are we talking about tonight?
Yeah, what are we talking about tonight?
Yeah.
We ladies are talking about generational wealth, something that we all need to know or get the information on, because it's so important. And like today, the way the world is going, those of us with children, grandchildren, whatever have you, it's really something we need to think about in all aspects. So tonight we have special guests that will share their expertise on different aspects of the generational wealth. Can we
I'ma
invite
learn
those
something?
lovely people in?
Absolutely.
Please.
They
They gonna
waited
learn
long
something.
enough.
All right.
Coming in, coming in.
Okay.
We have the Mr. Jason Boss. Good evening,
Hello,
Mr.
Jason.
Boss.
Hey, ladies, how you doing?
Hi,
Hey, good
Jason.
Hi,
evening.
Cousin Jason. How are you?
I'm good. Wait, is that T?
Yes.
Oh
Hi.
my goodness.
I need some info. Look, I need some info.
All right, all right. How's everybody doing?
Good.
We're
Good.
doing good.
Wonderful.
Good, good.
How are you?
I'm tired, but I'm hanging in there.
Yes.
Cousin Jason, what are you sipping on this evening?
I'm sipping on just Coke. That's it.
Mhm.
Hey, that works.
My
No,
favorite.
I shouldn't have done that because they didn't pay me to sponsor as a sponsor.
Right, right,
Right.
right.
But you
Right.
asked me, so I told you.
It just looks like Sherry, she's working her way in. She just may have a connection issue. So
Okay.
we can go ahead and just continue on.
Okay.
Jason, we've heard lots of great things about you, so we're excited to hear what you have to share with our viewers.
Okay, sounds great. Sounds good. Don't believe everything you hear though, especially if it came from Anna Maria.
Not
Jason,
now.
Tell us that yet.
you want to give our viewers a little bit of background on you so that they will know that you have some street cred.
Oh, you want my street cred background or you want
No,
my professional
no.
background?
Oh, we don't want that. Mm-mm.
No.
I mean, I got both, whatever you want. You know.
I want to hear about the street cred, but go ahead.
Yeah, you can share it. We might
Maybe
want to hear that.
Let's
Okay,
save that for the scoop.
Yeah.
Keep that for the school.
So I'm a partner in the law firm, Patel, Saltis, Cardenas, and Boss. We have 4 offices, 3 in New Jersey, 1 in New York. And I'm getting ready to actually open an office in Rochester in the next couple of months as well. So we're going to expand to the upstate area. Also, so the firm specializes in real estate matters, bankruptcy, foreclosure work, probate and surrogate court work, as well as I do primarily entertainment, but I also do probate and surrogate court work if it's more on the civil litigation side of things. And we're starting an immigration department in our firm as well, taking on some immigration cases also. So I don't know what else you want in terms of I teach law. I'm an adjunct professor as well, an author, and I call Rochester my hometown also. So
Are you from Rochester?
you can say that. Yeah, I wasn't born there, but I grew up there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Hi,
You
Miss
see
Sherry.
Sherry. Hi, Sherry.
Good evening.
Hi, Sherry.
Good evening.
I'm trying to. There we go. Hi, everyone.
Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome, Sherry.
Sherry, we just want to, will you go ahead and share with our viewers a little bit of your background so they'll know that you have some street cred?
Okay, well, I've been in real estate since 2003. And I started off as I sold land and I worked with a land developer. I'm not sure if you heard of America's Home Place, but I was one of their agents to help their customers find land for them to build on their purchased land. And they pretty much did a package deal where she would find the land, but they would finance the land with the purchase of the building of the home. So it was good while it lasted, you know, because America's Home Place is no longer here in Georgia. They went back to, was it Tennessee, I want to say? Yeah. I think it's Tennessee.
Why do you think they left Georgia?
That's not terrible for you.
Yeah, but I believe funding and you know, it was a short of a purchasing with that particular builder because he was a custom builder along with all the other builders, and pretty much they didn't have lots of their own. They only built on your land. And that's what probably caused them to, I won't say go under, because they still thriving in Tennessee. It's just that they moved from here in Georgia.
And you've gone from that to being a salesperson of commercial, residential, and now you're a broker.
And now I'm a broker. Yay! I got my broker's license in December 3rd. And I believe Tamara and Fabian were here. And I got back home from taking the test. I made it seem like I didn't pass, but I had. Then I started singing my theme song.
And Sherry, do you sell and broker real estate in the state of Georgia only, or
Yeah, right now I do. Just for right now, Georgia. Right now, I am working on opening my own firm, SBS Home Enterprises LLC.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, my husband he's working with me as well. He's more so on the side of the investor, where he doesn't have to have a license to perform real estate transactions. But right now, I'm working on opening my firm. It's little small things that I have to do to open my business. I'm sorry, my firm. But once I get that in place, I will venture out to other states to get licensed there. Some states have reciprocity, some states don't, where I would have to actually take the test, fully, the full exam. Mm-hmm.
Got it. So today we're talking about building generational wealth and the different ways that we can do that in our community. So I'm going to hand it back to Anna Maria, so that since she is hosting our show today.
Awesome.
Well, we do have Brittany. Good evening, Brittany. You have to unmute yourself. Good evening.
Hi, Brittany.
How are you?
Brittany.
We were doing introductions, so would you like to take a minute or two just to give us a little background on yourself?
Yes, my name is Brittany Monroe. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 3.5. I've got on the way. Currently work in the areas of finance. I work to help people get things like life insurance, investments, get out of debt. So that's really what I'm passionate about, because I feel like it's a huge need in our community. I also make dresses, prom gowns. I kind of keep my options open when it comes to making income.
I understand. We do appreciate each and every one of you taking time out tonight.
Right.
Absolutely.
To be with us. But my first question would be for Mr. Boss. Mr. Boss, we have a dying debate going. When it comes to writing a will, one of the cousins believe that it can be a little, would you say, Decovia?
What did I say?
Scam or something? Remember we were talking about wills last week?
Oh, no. Well, no. I was talking about life insurance versus just investing. How some people feel, that it wasn't about wills, but go ahead with your question.
But with the will, Mr. Boss, can you explain how that process goes? And if I were to die today, of course, I don't know what's what, but how would the person that I have in charge be able to get in contact with you? Like, can you tell me the whole process?
Sure. So if you were to die today, or anyone, I'm not going to pick on you. Let's just put it out there and make it general. If someone was to pass away and they did not have a will, then that's called dying intestate. All right, and dying intestate. So if they don't have a will and they pass away, what happens is there's going to have to be, you have to file what's called a petition for administration. You file that with the surrogate court in the county in which they lived when they died. Okay. So for one of you all, that would be Monroe County, I'm assuming, in upstate New York. So you're going to file a letters for administration, and that's going to be filed for whomever feels that they should be the administrator of your estate. Now, if you had a will and you died with a will, then there would be an executor that would be appointed in your will. So you would pick who you wanted to take care of your estate when you passed away. Okay. If you die without a will, that's not the choice is no longer yours. The choice is going to fall amongst your friends and family, and one of them is going to have to step up and file this petition for administration. Okay.
So,
And then, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna. So the bottom line is, we need wills.
Yeah,
Everyone.
there's will is just one form of protecting your assets post death. There's other ways to do it. One of the more popular things that are being done now, especially in the state of New York, is trusts. What trusts enable you to do is for things to pass outside of the surrogate court. So let me backtrack and then give you a little bit more of an explanation on what the whole process looks like. So when someone passes away, the surrogate court, which is a specific type of court, is going to be the court that's going to oversee their assets. If you pass away with the will, then you're going to go to probate. Okay, you probably heard the term probate. That's when somebody passes away with the will. You're going to take that will. It's going to go to the surrogate court. There's going to be a probate petition that's filed, and they're going to determine whether or not it's going to give anyone an opportunity that wants to challenge the will an opportunity to do so. And if there's no one that challenges it, then they're going to move forward. And according to what the will states, the executor of the will is going to be in charge of distributing the assets that are associated with the will, but also, just as importantly, paying whatever bills and whatever debts are due as well. So when you die, your debts don't just disappear with you. They're going to have to be taken care of as well if there's assets associated with your estate. So what trusts do, so the will is one way to do it, so that you can appoint who you want to take care of this process for you. And you can tell people what you want to go where, so you can make those determinations. If you die without a will, then the state has laws that they follow to determine who gets what. It depends on if you're married, it depends on how many kids you have. There's a lot of factors that come into play if you die intestate. But what you're doing is you're allowing the state to take over control of your assets. Most people that I know from the community that we come from do not trust the government. So the last thing that you want is to put that process in their hands. You want to control that process yourself as much as possible. So one of the things that you can do is you can avoid having things go to probate or go to intestacy situation, because you can put your assets into other entities that will pass outside of the surrogate court system. So one of the things that does that is life insurance. And I believe is someone going to talk about life insurance here today?
Yeah, she's coming up right after you.
Okay, perfect. So she
Brittany
can
is.
break down what that looks like, but life insurance actually passes outside of that court system. So you don't have to worry about that being entangled in any type of legal debate or legal issues. It's going to go whomever to you, you designated to go to, whoever your beneficiaries are. So that's one tool that you can use. Another tool is to set up trust. Now, trust can hold various assets, and you can assign people to control those trusts, or in essence, to own those trusts. And that way, when you pass, the trust passed to the person. It doesn't have to go through the surrogate court system. So that's outside of your will and outside of probate as well. And then if you're talking about real property or houses or land or something like that that's owned, you can change the status of the ownership of the deeds, so that if you pass away, well, there's no if, when you pass away, that the property can actually pass outside of the surrogate court system as well. So there's different things that you can put in place depending on what your assets are, in order to protect your assets post death.
So Jason, I have a quick question. Since we're talking about being able to begin the process of setting up, building generational wealth, and we want to be able to pass on assets and not liabilities to our children, am I correct when I understand that you say if I put, money into a trust, then that money in the trust, debtors aren't going to come against my trust? Is that right? They're not going to place claims against the trust?
That's an excellent question. So whether or not a debtor is going to have access to various assets is going to depend on a lot of different factors. That's where you sit down with whomever's helping you develop this, and then they can kind of position it out based on the individual needs of whatever the situations are. There's various debtors. There's student loan debt. There's mortgages that have to be paid. There's credit card debt. There's all of these things that exist, even post death. So deciding how to handle your assets is going to help answer those. Deciding what debt you have is going to be one of the questions that are going to help determine what's best to set up for you, whether it's a trust, whether, you know, it's a pay on death situation with a bank account. So that's going to help make that determination. And that's more of an individualized question. It's something that you should sit down with your professional and talk about and discuss in detail.
Absolutely.
I got a question, Jason. What do you suggest for people? And I've heard it a lot. I don't have anything. You know, should they still, you know, set up a will or something, you know, for their family?
Yeah, I guess it depends on, we all place value on things differently. So someone saying I don't have anything could be I only have $1 million. That could be not much for someone. Someone else, it could be $20,000. Someone else could be a house. I'm sorry?
It could be items.
It could be items, exactly. Yeah, it could be I only have this car. Whatever it is that you have, if you want to give it to somebody upon your death, then you need to you have to tell the world that that's what you want to do. And the way that you do it is by drafting this legal document, which is the will. So if you have minimal assets and minimal debts, then a simple will might suffice for you. It might work for you. It just makes things a lot more clear. And usually it makes things run a lot more smoother after death.
And because
that's not to say that
fight.
I'm sorry?
Keep people from fighting, keep the family from, you know, kids from fighting over.
Unfortunately, the will is not going to necessarily keep people from fighting. I see it all the time where the will says, I want T to get, you know, my $500,000 Rolls Royce, and I want Tamara to get my house in Florida, and, you know, so on and so forth. And then T says, wait a minute, that was my favorite house. I deserve that house and not Tamara. And Tamara says, you can't even drive, T. Matter of fact, you not only can you not drive, but you got 4 DWIs. So because of that, I need to get that car. So they can have disagreements amongst themselves. And what happens is they hire an attorney like me to go in and present and fight on their behalf. The attorney like me gets paid. It's not cheap. It's an expensive process if you want to challenge your will. And I charge hourly. Most attorneys charge hourly. So while they're fighting, I'm getting paid. And the assets are just shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking.
So Jason, you're discouraging me because you're saying someone can fight my final wishes.
Well, but there are things that you can put in place as well that says that if somebody does fight it, then they lose everything. All right. So there's certain things that you can put in place.
Okay.
But this is why when you get to the point where you have real estate and you have certain assets, it's really time to start looking at considering setting up trust and setting up other external things so that whatever they're going to fight about is going to be minimal. You want to leave a minimal amount in there. And the other thing that you have to take into consideration is that there's inheritance taxes as well. So you want to try to minimize that as much as possible. And that's why you set up these external and these ancillary items to work in conjunction with the will. So that by the time the will is sent into probate, there's just a few things in there that have to be worked out, and there's not much left over to fight about. And if somebody fights about it, if the will is written the right way, they're going to lose everything anyways. So there's certain things that you can put in place to protect yourself for sure.
So Jason, people have options. They have 3 options: not getting a will, downloading legal Zoom documents and trying to do it themselves, and then I see your face, and then hiring an attorney. I know that they all have different cost considerations, but can you just tell us the benefits of, you know, the pros and cons?
Definitely. That's a really good question. The biggest issue that you run into when you're trying to do it on your own is the execution of the will. The will has to be executed in a very specific manner. There has to be a certain number of witnesses. There's a formality to it. Certain things are supposed to be said at the execution of the will. So that part is really, really key. If you want the will to be valid and to not be challenged and to stand, then that's a major part of it. The other thing is that every state has different requirements. And LegalZoom can provide a template format for that. But when you start to get into individual assets and individual things and different things going on, that's probably not going to be the best thing. You might think that you're saying it the way it has to be said in order to make sure it's clear, but the court might not read it that way. And the way to make sure that the court really makes sure that they understand what you want is to get an attorney and somebody that's versed with doing these things on a regular basis. They understand what the legalese is. They know the requirements, and it's getting a will is extremely affordable. My office, for example, which we tend to be on the higher end in terms of hourly billing and cost, because we provide a higher level of service. At least we think so, and that's what our clients think. But even through our office, our basic wills are really affordable. They start at around $400, and that's what most people pay for the will, which is not a lot of money. What we usually do is we suggest that they do what's called the trifecta, which is a will, a power of attorney. What do we do? Will, power of attorney, and depending on where you're at, there's another document that we throw in there as well. And that's about $1,200 for all three of those things. A healthcare proxy, I'm sorry. So those things will enable whomever you assign to take after you and your assets, the power that if you become incapacitated and you're in the hospital and you can't make decisions for yourself, then somebody will have the legal ability to make those decisions for you that you appointed. That's what one of the documents does. So that we suggest the trifecta, which is all three of those documents. And most places aren't going to charge you more than $1,200 for the basic wills, or the basic three documents, I'm sorry, altogether. Now, when you get into trust and things like that, it becomes a little bit more expensive, but you're talking about dealing with, larger assets as well.
Sure. I know
So
Michael, for me, and creating a legacy for my family is I want my money to go where I want it to go, not
Exactly.
where the state of California thinks it should go.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you die intestate, again, meaning if you die without a will, the state determines how that money is distributed. It's a formula. It doesn't matter if you've got, one child who's completely irresponsible with money, and they're going to get just as much as the other child who is extremely responsible with money. They don't take need into consideration. It's a straight up formula. This is who gets what. And you don't make that determination. The state makes the determination.
Got it.
Uh-oh. Okay.
We switched around.
No, it's okay.
Okay, I had one little quick question, Jason. If I were to come to you to do a will and I put my eldest child as that person, God forbid me and her go at the same time, who's in charge?
We're gonna have that discussion as well. And there's gonna be a succession plan. So if you all were vacationing and perished at the same time because a scuba diving accident and a great white shark ate you both. So T, I'm not trying to,
That will never happen because I'm not going scuba diving.
I don't do all that no way. I'm not a nature girl. That's the code.
That's why I chose that, because I know that that's not going to happen. All right, but so let's say that you pass away as well as your executor, your appointed executor. Then there's going to be somebody else that's going to be underneath them that we're going to designate as well. And you can even go another level if you wanted to. But we'll make it clear that this person is going to be the executor, unless at the time of your death they've already passed away as well. Okay. And if that's the case, then it's going to be this person, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
But that's a decision that you make. You'll make that call, and not the state.
Right.
Got it.
Well, thank you so very much, Jason. We appreciate that. But Sherry, one moment, I'm gonna jump in with Brittany because Brittany really has to go. Brittany, may you open up and give us your expertise?
Hello, everybody. I keep making it fall. So yes, specialize in life insurance. I'm passionate about life insurance, so I don't just work in the area. I believe that everybody needs it. I've seen more so often this last year with COVID, with so many people losing employment and people passing away, that it's kind of something, especially in our community, that's causing a lot of us to continuously pass on poverty, pass on debt, and not pass on wealth. And it's one of those simple things that we can put into place that can stop things like that. So I'm really focused on making sure that, securing life insurance, knowing your options, knowing what life insurance should cover, knowing how it can protect you in the end, that I give that knowledge to as many people as possible.
Brittany, I have a question for you.
Is it expensive, Brittany?
Life insurance is based off your age, health, and background. So the younger more healthier you are, the more affordable life insurance will be for you.
Does life insurance only cover somewhat a loss? I've just heard of people cashing in life insurance policies.
So there's two different types of life insurance. There's life insurance where you have just strictly life insurance. And then there's life insurance that comes with a cash policy. I mean, there's benefits and downfalls to both, right? Life insurance isn't just to benefit you while you're alive. There's different riders that you can add on that can be of benefit to you while you're alive, such as disability riders. You become disabled. Some companies will make sure that they pay for premiums. If you become terminally ill, a lot of companies will make sure that money is accessible for you to use for medical or whatever you would need it for. So there's options that you have to use life insurance while you are alive.
So
That's good to know, because a lot of people don't know that. They think life insurance is just when you know, when you
a
die.
loss.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So what are the amounts based off of, Brittany? Like, I know that the average person can't come in saying, I want $1 million policy on my ex-husband.
So when you're looking to get life insurance,
That's a good one.
First, you want to make sure you have insurable interest in the person. Your ex-husband, I'm not sure how much insurable interest you have.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple things that life insurance.
Sorry, Tamara.
There's a couple things that you should cover as far as life insurance. So like what Jason was saying earlier, things like making sure that your debt is covered. So you should cover debt, you should cover mortgage so that your house is passed down to, those you love. Make sure that income is covered. Especially when you have children, you lose a parent and that income is gone, then most oftentimes children and families are suffering because dad is gone and half of the income is gone, and now they're stuck to struggle to find out how to stay on pace without that income. Educational needs, if you have goals for your children, if you want to see them in college, you want to see them start a business later on in life, those are things you want to make sure you cover with your life insurance so that any goals that you have, they continue to be met, whether you're here or not.
I see. And is the amount that we can cover ourselves for, is there a cap or is there a formula for that?
There's no cap. So usually the cap can come into place with some companies, sometimes with age, but usually it's all about what you can afford, really. Whatever you can afford, you just get that coverage. Sometimes things like occupation can stop the amount. So if you are unemployed, companies will ask questions about where you're working at, and if they see that you don't make enough to afford a certain amount of policy, then they're going to make sure that you keep it in that comfort range so that it's affordable for you. But if you got the money to pay for a $2 million policy, you can go get one.
So what about age, Brittany? Like, is there a cap on age? What if I was 92?
Yes. So usually most companies won't cover you after 85.
85?
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep.
Anna Maria, you're out of luck. You can't get out.
I'm sorry. Don't y'all laugh at him. I told you he was a comedian. I told you. What's up, Jason? So is there physical?
Good. You look good,
to
girl.
Longer.
So with some companies, there are physicals. So I represent a company called Primerica, and there's a certain amount that you can go and get without requiring a physical. In some cases, if you have a history of drugs or alcohol in your background, then they are going to require, they're going to require like blood and urine and a physical.
Gotcha.
But
Dang,
for most young people, which is what I'm trying to spread the knowledge about, the younger and the healthier you are, you can just go and get life insurance. You're going to lock in such incredible rates.
Absolutely.
Sure. Here, I have one last question, Brittany, for you. My last question is, so let's say I've been paying on my policy for 20 years and then I hit a hardship and I can't pay, that bill anymore. I've lost my job. So is there a time period where I can still maintain my policy after it's lapsed, or after I miss my first payment, am I just done? I've lost my 20 years.
So that's why I think it's important to work with someone who has your best interest. There's a lot of agents out there who are just going to sell you life insurance and they're going to disappear, right? You want to be able to go to someone, and that's why I enjoy being able to offer life insurance and work with finances. Because when a hardship like that happens, you want to speak to the representative that you have to let them know, hey, things have happened. I may need to lower coverage for a while, because the one thing I don't want to see is somebody cancel life insurance, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So if you need to lower it down to, where it's just covering final expenses, at the worst, your family's not going to be put into debt with your final expenses. But usually if you have a 3, I know I'm not sure with a lot of companies, but I know with our companies, if you miss a payment, we automatically put you into quarterly payments. So then the next option would be you paying for that policy in a quarterly amount, just to make sure that we don't cut you off right away. But keeping communication open is really important, just so that, you can bring it down to something that's comfortable and affordable for you.
Sure.
Can you take out multiple policies?
You can, yes. Yep.
Is
So most
there a
people,
cap on that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's a max to the amount of life insurance that you can get. I mean, it's as long as you can afford it, I would think that it's okay. A lot of people have life insurance through their job, and that's one thing I'm trying to make sure that I'm working to spread the word about, is that life insurance through your job is not actually yours. It's your job's policy. You leave that job, you lose your coverage.
What do you mean
And
it's
what's
not
happening?
mine?
It's not yours. If you go and try
Not
to increase
yours.
your coverage outside of your what is it? The time that they allow you to make changes or submit for life insurance, you can't make changes. Usually they guarantee you 2 to 3 times your income, and for most of us, that's not enough coverage to cover everything. And what's happening is there's people who are staying at their jobs and retiring all these years, and then they notice they don't have life insurance once they leave, and by the time they go to get life insurance, they're 65 and older, and life insurance is crazy expensive.
That is a good point.
Thank you
I
for
have
that.
2
Brittany.
questions.
We appreciate you. Oh,
Yeah.
Sherry got a question.
I do have 2 questions.
Go ahead.
My first question is, do you only sell term, or do you do whole life as well?
So with my company, we work with term insurance, and that's for a few different reasons. So with whole life, you are guaranteed coverage your whole life, and then you have a cash policy, right? So what happens with that cash policies, there's 2 things that personally I don't like. You submit to that cash policy, and it's like going to a bank and depositing money into the bank. And then the first year you go in there and you're like, hey, let me borrow some money. They're going to tell you there's nothing here for you to borrow. So you've been putting money into a cash policy where for 1 to 5 years, there's actually nothing accumulating. When you do go to get that cash value, they're also going to charge you interest to take your own money that you've been putting in there. So what I work to do is make sure that there's things in place like term life insurance, because honestly, the goal shouldn't be to die with life insurance. Honestly, the goal should be to have life insurance in place while you're working to accumulate other assets, while we're working to accumulate generational wealth that we can actually access, that we can enjoy later on, that we can pass down physical money to our family. Which life insurance you can, but if you're doing things like setting up term and setting up investments, which is what I work to do, the goal is to accumulate more cash and more assets than you have in life insurance. And to be able to access money that's going to actually grow. So, invest your money into things like mutual funds, college funds for your kids, retirement accounts where your money is working for you instead of sitting into a cash policy where you're going to end up actually paying for your own money.
And I have one more question. I have one more question. My
Go ahead.
last question is, what are the length of time for your term life? Is it 15, 20, 30, 40? What are the times?
So the max term that we have is 30. But it could be 10, 15, 25, 20, 25. It's all about what your goals are. So, I mean, you would speak with a financial advisor and speak about what your long-term goals are. You put a plan in place as far as saving, again, with those funds to be able to accumulate more wealth than you have in life insurance. And depending on what that looks like, then you would set up the term for that amount of time.
Okay, to piggyback off of that, what you just said, if I've got a 15-year policy and my 15 years are up, do I renew at the age I am at the time the 15 years are up? Is that how you would issue another policy for me?
So I would be in contact with you to review what is your financial goals. So after 15 years, you're gonna be 15 years older, right? So at some point you should have someone that you can go to kind of review, maybe at about that 10-year range, to see where you would want to be in the future. I probably wouldn't, because you look young, I probably wouldn't put you into a 15-year term.
You've been great.
I guess I would have wanted to know the understanding behind you having only a 15-year term and how that worked towards your goals. So a lot of people, they get term, but they don't really understand it. A lot of times it's just an agent selling you term, and they're trying to find a price point that's convenient for you, but they put you into something that's actually going to hurt you in the end, just because they don't really understand it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's important.
Brittany, one of our viewers is asking how they can get in touch with you to discuss getting a policy. So you can tell them now, and then in the comments, if you would just type in your contact information there too, that would be fantastic. Jason, do you mind doing the same as well?
Yes, Sherry too, please.
If I put it in the chat here,
I was gonna say Sherry after she did her presentation.
I know. Miki had a question for you, Brittany.
Yes, what you got?
Well, that was it. But so you say your company, sometimes you have these companies that sell you life insurance then disappear. So with you're working for Primerica. Do you work with anyone? Say someone got a policy with Primerica a while ago, and who knows who their representative is. Can you take over?
Yes, I would be happy to.
That is something you can do. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not like I would be financially gaining or taking someone else's, commission or anything. I would just be working to make sure that your best interest was at hand, which should be the goal of anyone working with you. But
right. Okay.
I'm only me. I can't speak for everybody. I know what my goal is and what everyone's goal should be, but
okay. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brittany. That was very informative.
It was.
Absolutely.
It was great.
We know you have to go, so we just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure speaking with you guys. I'm always happy to share. Just because I feel like the stigma with life insurance is that, you have to die, right? And then so many of us are afraid to talk about it because of that. But then so many more of us are even more uninformed just because we don't have the knowledge on it. And knowledge is what stops us from exceeding and excelling so many times. So just to be able to push that knowledge out as often as possible, that's always my goal.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Brittany.
you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys have a good night.
You too.
So thank you, Brittany.
You're welcome.
And thanks, Jason, for putting your email up there too.
It looked a little strange, but thank you.
What I try to do is I just try to copy and paste my signature from the email, but yeah, it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. So I don't want you to hurt your brain trying to figure it out.
Don't do that. I told you. I told you.
You need a little extra assistance, so I'll clarify it for you.
We'll talk later.
Sherry, we can't wait to hear about what you share with us about real estate investing.
Yes, yes. Real estate investing, it could be easy or it could be difficult. It depends on how you go about it or what your goals are when it comes to real estate. And what I first start with is, where's your credit score? And a lot of times I help my clients with increasing their credit score by keeping track with their credit score with Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. They have their own websites where you can manage your credit score and manage your credit report. But there's also Credit Karma is a good one. I suggest for those that are just starting. It's free. You can see your credit. You can really see what's on your credit report, but the credit score is kind of on a slant. It's not too accurate. A lot of them aren't accurate. I'll have to say most of them are not accurate. The only accuracy that you're going to get is actually from the credit bureau, which is Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Right. And they will give you your credit score if you ask for it, but you have to pay for it. It's like $10 for each. Each bureau, I'm sorry. If you want your credit score.
Add something to that real quick?
Sure.
By law, you're entitled to one free credit report a year. Right. So if you reach out to them once, you can do it once for each one per year. And they each have a different requirement of what that is. One of them you can email, one of them you have to write a letter, but reach out because you're entitled to that. Or anytime that you're denied credit for any reason, then you're entitled to a free copy of your credit report as well. So just building on, not trying to steal your thunder.
Oh, no, not at all. Please feel free.
Okay.
But the credit score you always have to pay for. But go ahead.
Just a question too, when you're talking about credit score, we got a viewer, Ayana, is saying, like she heard, checking your credit score lowers it. It hits you. Is that true all the time?
No, not if you check your credit score. It's going to hurt your credit score. And some companies, you can ask them, are they going to pull a hard or soft? Soft credit pulls, they don't hurt your credit score, but hard pull is the one that really hurts your credit score. So be careful and be mindful of, especially if you go to a car dealership, they're going to hit you like 15, 20 times. And a lot of times I have hacks where you can go in to where you can remove those. But for the most part, I would suggest, be sure where your credit score is before inquiring about credit. So, and that's my first step in investing, especially if you're a self-employed or a business. As long as you have, if you're going on the business side of it, it's best to have incorporation to apply for certain funding when it comes to investing, or on the side where you're just starting. A lot of times people go into wholesaling, and wholesaling is where you're the middleman and there's a buyer and a seller. A lot of times once you really have to know to know where to find the people that are in need of your service. A lot of times you can use your bandit signs, and a lot of people use those signs. They call a lot of investors when it comes to having issues with their homes, say for instance, foreclosures and things of that nature. A lot of times wholesalers, that's how they pretty much start with pre-foreclosures. A lot of people are in desperate need or under duress. Just like COVID has caused a lot of people go under duress when they are unable to, pay their mortgage, their monthly mortgage. And that's when that investor will come in and they'll put their signs out, and somehow they contact that investor, and then that middle person, the wholesaler, they can, and most of the time the wholesaler have cash buyers in hand when it comes to helping that seller out when it comes to them being under duress. So that wholesaler will contact the seller and say, hey, I have a cash buyer. And they'll get them two together. And then there's a transaction for the investor with no money down, no credit check, no anything. Even you can have bad credit being a wholesaler. And that's where investing, a lot of times some small investors start by being a wholesaler. But on the investment side, like for me, what I do as an investor and realtor, I do help clients find a retail. That's what real estate agents do. We sell and find retail properties for our clients. And for me as an investor, I'm looking for wholesale foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, or say for instance, I have a friend that is looking for someone to purchase their property, and it may not be a property that they want listed. And a lot of times I can purchase that property, maybe flip it, or even just resell it for a higher price. And there I made some money on that, just purchasing that property at a lower price as a, I won't say a wholesaler, but an investor that buys discounted properties pretty much. And then it's so many avenues you can take to become an investor. So if anyone have any questions, or if I can answer any questions on that you may have on investing and where to start, I can try to be of help. And especially if you want to get your credit, business credit, it's just so many. I've learned so much in this year of COVID on how to just getting funding. It is, I thought it used to be so difficult, but it's very easy. It's just taking that step to actually apply. And it's amazing how people respond.
All right. We do have a viewer with a question. Sherry, do you work with first-time home buyers at all?
Yes, I do. I work with first-time home buyers. I work with established home owners, where if they're in a home and they don't know what to do when it comes to, say for instance, they're going into pre-foreclosure, I have options to get them out that situation, just like the wholesaler scenario I just gave you. I can present it, because some people are just shamed, they feel like they're proud to not mention it to certain people. And I understand that, everyone, is shameful, but don't be shameful, because everyone has been in a situation where, I had to file bankruptcy when it comes to, keeping my home, couple, 4 or 5 years ago. So I do understand how, how difficulty can be, anything could cause you to, have a problem with, or a situation may arise where you may be under duress to go into bankruptcy. You may even have to short sale. A lot of times before you short sale, contact someone or contact me to help you through that situation and say, hey, we have options for you. A lot of times most lenders they'll give you cash for keys. And that's because they don't want you to tear up their home, true enough. But a lot of times people, they have that option to get help to move, get funding to move to another location, for them, instead of them foreclosing on their home. And a lot of times there's a lot of investors that are there to help them through that situation. They can take over the payments, and then later on they can sell the house or even help them get into a situation where they're able to take back their home. So it's a lot of options out there.
I have a question. In Georgia, are there some good first-time home buyer programs to help with like the down payment for first-time home buyers?
Yes, there's down payment assistance programs. There's here in Georgia, they have Georgia Dream. There's this one company is, well, I won't say company, it's more like a lender, but it's more on a low income basis, where it's called NACA. NACA is one of, it's not spoken of a lot, but it's a lot of paperwork, but it's no PMI, um, no closing costs to the buyer. Um, it's more like a stabilization program for low income home, well, low income individuals, I would say, or people that doesn't have that criteria where most lenders are looking for, where the funds, they have to have so much money in reserves and things of that nature. But NACA, they pretty much help the low income individual purchase a home. And it's more so a first time home buyer program as well. So different counties here in Georgia do have some type of stabilization program for low income buyers. Because I want to say a couple of years ago, there was like Clayton County here where I am, they had a neighborhood stabilization program where that particular company, well, the county purchased homes and they would only sell to certain low income families. And they were not, I would say they were renovating these homes and selling them to the low income families. So it's different, totally different programs that just depends on what your criteria is when it comes to, and your background is, and what you can pretty much afford. That's pretty much what some of the programs will look at when it comes to low income families.
I have a
Does
question for you,
do you have
Sherry.
to buy in a certain area?
Not necessarily. It just depends if that area is available for that amount within that county. Yes. If your income is where it needs to be for that particular home, it doesn't matter where it is, as long as that particular county has that neighborhood stabilization program, you can get in that home.
Okay.
Sherry, for investment properties, talk to us about financing those. Can you get traditional financing if someone is buying a second home or a third home as an investment property? Do you have to pay for it cash? How does that work?
A lot of times, you're looking for investment properties. There's auctions. There's HUD. There's HUD properties as well. And between those two, a lot of times, if you're an investor, yes, you would have to put a percentage down. And for HUD, you would have to put a percentage down. With HUD, if you see a property on that particular site, as an investor, sometimes you have to wait at least 10, maybe 20 days out, because the first 10 to 20 days is for organizations, nonprofits, and owner occupants. They keep those particular first come, first served days only available for those type of purchasers. But after those, it's open to all investors if that particular property isn't sold to any of those previous individuals that I stated earlier.
So what's the comparison between someone buying an owner occupied home, like their home, versus the percentage they may have to put down for their investment property?
A lot of times it depends on the lender that they pretty much that they choose. Some lenders will go 5%, 10%, 20%, sometimes 25%. It just depends on a lot of times the amount of the purchase, or say for instance, if it's a HUD or an auction, a lot of times auctions, they want cash. But sometimes it just depends on the property. You probably can get a financing for that property, but HUD, they'll do cash financing or however. It just depends on if you win the bid on the amount. Depends. Sometimes bidding higher doesn't win the bid with HUD. A lot of times it just depends if you get that sweet spot. Sometimes $1 over the bid, you win a bid, depending on the closing time. It just depends. A lot of times it's up in the air a lot of times with HUD. A lot of times you just have to put in bids 2 and 3 times to win a bid with HUD. And sometimes you can win a bid, you put a bid in and someone else took a bid. A lot of times waiting on that bid, somebody else probably bought another house or found another home, and then they say, we don't want to purchase that home any longer. And then whoever was next in line, they'll call them, send them information. Everything is time is of the essence when it comes to responding back to HUD and
But
auction.
Sherry, our viewers can reach out to you if they are interested in purchasing any real estate or selling real estate in the state of Georgia. And then you can also kind of help them through the process of purchasing any real estate investment property, renovating, flipping, renting, any of those things, because I do know that you have experience in that, because you do that for many clients, and you do that. You and your husband do that personally.
Yes, we
Jason,
do.
your firm does closings as well, right? Real estate closings.
Yes, we do closings in New Jersey and in New York. And we also do a lot of work around foreclosure defense as well. So, Sherry mentioned the foreclosure process, or started to touch on that. When the banks come in and attempt to foreclose on the house, we work with clients to try to either work out a situation with the bank through loan modification or other means, or stop the sale if it's an emergency situation. Depends on what the individual requirements are for that particular time. But just so you know, right now there's a moratorium on foreclosure. So the banks are not able to take your house right now because of COVID. And that was just extended out until I think June 1st again. It was supposed to end.
Really?
I think June 30th, right?
And they're probably going to extend it out again after that, because they don't really have a plan yet for what this is going to look like when it's all over with. But prior to COVID, probably the bulk of the business that we did on the real estate side was around foreclosure defense and bankruptcy work. Post-COVID, what we do now is primarily real estate closings for both commercial and residential properties in New York City, in New York State, and in New Jersey.
So one thing I know that people don't realize, but when you are in the midst of a real estate transaction, because by the way, I'm a licensed real estate agent as well. So they don't realize that you can select your own participants in that transaction. So not only can you select your own lender, but you have a choice most of the time in a closing attorney as well.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's good to know, Jason, that that's something that you do. If there's someone that you know, if someone that you're familiar with, someone that a friend of yours said they had a good experience with, you do not have to use the closing attorney that is already attached to that transaction. Sometimes they will say as part of the sale that this is the person you have to use. Well, you have to agree to that, but you definitely have a choice. Sherry, what other vendors do buyers and buyers have a choice in a transaction?
Well, the lender,
Mhm.
inspections, well, what else is there? With termite company here in Georgia, you have a choice in getting inspections, termite inspection, and what type of financing is your choice on what financing you want. You know, it depends on how much money you plan on spending or keeping, and the financing decision is up to you and what lender you decide to choose. And from the top of my head, I'm still trying to think what else. But those are the main things: the attorney, the lender, the inspections, and the termite inspection. You have those choices on what you to say who you would like to choose, not someone dictating on what you should choose.
Mm.
But if I think of another one, I'll put it in the chat.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you.
Thank you. How awesome. We've got such good information tonight.
Yes.
Our viewers are saying
Can
that.
I just say two things real quick? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
So the first thing is, I think that this is excellent. I mean, our communities, these are things that are kind of overlooked in our community, and a lot of people don't have access to this information. So I commend you for putting this together. I think that this was a really great idea, and you did a great job with that. The second thing is that you all are the slowest drinkers. You're supposed to be sipping with take maybe 1 or 2 sips apiece. All right. Maybe I didn't see it. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. But man, come on.
Sophia sips in silence, so she could be like a 6 and you would never know.
There you go. All right.
Full glass. Jason, before you go, Jason, I have a very important question. This is probably the most important question of the evening. I am very observant.
Yeah.
I see that you have Usher on the wall behind you. Can you give me his number?
I don't believe I have Usher's number right now. So but I'll do my best to see what I can find. How about that?
That's all she see.
That's all I ask. So
It
I
makes me
Kanye
look
is back
and
there
I
too.
see
Kanye is right
Usher.
behind you.
That's
see
Aaliyah.
I see Kanye, but he going through some things. So let me just get Usher.
Maybe I'm the rebound, Decovia.
I don't know. No, Kanye's a hand.
Oh,
I can't handle
girl, bye.
So yeah, if you could just get with me, Jason. Just get with me whenever you got.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Decovia, he's gonna be in Vegas for a bit and just a few.
I know. I know.
Sound like another trip.
Usher's
that
supposed to
would
be
be
there,
fun.
right?
Sound like another trip, guys.
Sound like another Vegas trip.
Yay!
Yeah, because I need to experience the real Vegas since everything's open now.
You're open.
Yeah.
Everything's
Hold
open.
on. Slow
But just
down.
don't forget to wear your mask.
You're moving too
Of course.
fast.
What you mean?
In my mind, you're still 3 years old. So.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Decovia, what are you scooping for us?
Say it again.
Decovia is scooping something for us.
Oh, they're gonna stay around for the scoop? Okay, I do a Sunday scoop.
Ladies, I apologize. I have to run. I was told it was going to be an hour.
Yes.
So I'm glad I was able to participate.
Well, we appreciate your expertise. Thank you so much.
If anybody has
Yes,
questions,
thank you so much.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. You all
You're
enjoy
gonna
your.
put Usher's number in the chat, right?
Yeah, I put everything up.
No, thank you, Jason. Call me. Don't
Thank you.
No, put it in the chat.
It's in the chat. The number's in the chat.
Just worry about Usher. That's all.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.
Sherry, please, we invite you to stay with us through our scoop and our close.
Unless you have to go. If you have to go, we understand.
No, I'll stay.
Hey.
So I don't know if you've seen our shows before, Sherry, but so I do the Sunday scoop, at the end of each show, talking about, what's going on in the entertainment world or what have you.
Right.
And I thought last Sunday was a sad Sunday scoop, and I wish I didn't have to do this, and I really want to pass. I really don't want to do this Sunday scoop. But so Friday, Earl Simmons, better known as DMX, the world lost him on Friday afternoon. And um we really, really feeling it, because, and I think, we celebrities die all the time, but it's some of them that are just touch us in a certain way. And I think because DMX was such a normal person, he didn't ever act like a superstar. He put his struggles out there for people to relate to, and he was a very spiritual person and a passionate person, and we just all felt his music. I mean, his music, you couldn't get no more real than DMX. And whew, the fact that he's gone at 50 years old, it's just, I haven't been on social media since Friday because it's just too much for me personally to see all of the tributes and all this. Like, the world really lost a
I was
great
talking to TT and she was just saying he was just part of the soundtrack of my life.
Yeah,
He was.
yeah. I mean, he gave us great movies. I mean, everybody loved Belly, you know what? And in the stories he would tell, like, I don't know if y'all ever really watched his interviews, but I've always watched DMX because he's funny, you know what I'm saying? And the stories he tell are funny, and how he'd be acting up on movie sets, and how he'd pretend like he was a cop and pulling people over. Like, he was just he was just hilarious, and he will be greatly, greatly missed.
Yes, he did.
And what you have to look at also, Decovia, is that now is his time to rest.
Yeah.
His job is done.
Yes, he has such
He
a
can
rough,
rest now.
such a
He
rough life.
did.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it was
He had it rough from the beginning.
from the
The
So
very
Yeah.
beginning.
God said,
It
It was
son,
hard for
you
me,
are
yeah.
done.
And I didn't even know till recently. It just like broke my heart,
yeah,
But he can rest now.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I really didn't know he was his mother put him in a foster home. He thought
Took
he
him
was
and said
just,
they were visiting and left him.
yes. And it was that hurt my heart.
yeah. He been
It
through.
hurt my heart when she knocked his teeth out with a broomstick
Oh my gosh.
and locked
When
him
he
in the
was
room
sick.
for the whole summer with just books.
He went through so much. So
He
yeah,
did.
hopefully we can look at it as he can rest now.
I see it as he can rest. That's what puts my heart at peace.
And that's what I said. I said a lot of times you never know what
You don't-
anyone is going through, what their life
Their
was
mindset.
ever like.
Mhm.
Exactly. And you don't know. You just don't know. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why God tells us just pray for those. Just pray
Yes.
for them.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully my next Sunday scoop, because the last two have been pretty rough. So hopefully
Well, maybe Jason will get you a little connect with Usher and you'll be fine, baby.
no,
And that'll be the scoop.
listen. If I
That'll be our sprinkles.
That'll be sprinkled.
That'll be
Right,
our
some
sprinkles.
y'all better hope I show up next Sunday if I get.
Oh no, you gonna show up.
You coming
gonna
to work.
show up.
You coming to work.
Oh, yeah.
Show it.
But
she
I
needs to
really
show
like
up.
this set you guys have. It's really nice. It really is.
Thank you.
Really
you.
informative.
Appreciate
Really
it.
is.
We
It really
appreciate
is.
that.
We're so
And I
happy
thank you
to
guys
have
for inviting me.
Yes.
Thank
was
you
really
for
awesome
coming.
tonight.
Yes.
Thank you. We love having you.
know that Sherry is Bernie's wife.
I know.
Y'all
We
know cousin
know.
Sherry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cousin Sherry.
I didn't even
Mhm.
put two together.
She was in Vegas with us.
I didn't even. Yeah.
Oh, was you sipping a little bit too much that day to go?
Yeah, because she had that big one.
That's what it was.
Oh, the big one.
She had that big one.
She can't stone with the big dogs too tough. She gotta get off the porch sometime.
Oh boy.
So
Mm.
that's a scoop.
Yeah, and I had just come from Michigan this morning.
Yes.
We got in about 4 o'clock
Michigan, yes.
this morning. And I was so tired. I'm telling you, I didn't wake up until 11:30, 12 o'clock today.
We sure appreciate you.
Yes, we
Yes.
do.
Thank you
Take
for
That's why I
joining
have
us
my
today.
hat on, y'all. In my
That's all right. You cute. Don't even worry about it, baby. I got on the whole hoodie. Listen.
Thank you for joining us. So we can have everybody raise their glasses.
Oh, listen, I gotta pour some more because I ain't got nothing in.
Hey, top it
right?
off.
Miki about empty over there smiling. Miki, you about empty?
About that's why we sip slow, because we gotta
Love
wait.
you all. Thank
All
you
right.
again, Sherry. And thanks again
Thanks for
to
joining
you
us.
guys are
and
so welcome.
Jason.
Thank you so much
Yes.
for
Thanks for all
inviting
of our
me.
yes.
Very
Can we gift
informational.
our glasses to DMX?
Yes.
DMX.
And thanks to all of our viewers for tuning in and watching and sticking it out with us tonight. We really appreciate
Thank
that.
you. And I hope they
Please
all
share
learned
this.
something.
Please share this video, guys. Share. Thanks again for
Share
joining us.
and like.
Tune in next Sunday, same time, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern, and 6 Pacific. We love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Love
Good
you. Thank
night.
you.
Love you
Good
guys.
night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.